Film co-production was the focus of the meeting between Government of India and the British Film Institute at the UK pavilion of the Marshadu Films or the Cannes Film Market. I spoke to the UK delegate after the meeting. This is what she told me. We are at the UK pavilion right on the French Riviera, not very far from the Bharat pavilion here in Cannes. Joining me is Miss Moody. She is the head of international relations of BFI, British Film Institute. Such a pleasure to have you. You've just had a meeting with Joint Secretary Mr. Sanjeev here at the UK pavilion. Tell us what transpired in the meeting.
Well, we were discussing collaboration between our two countries. We have been working on our co-production treaty, which has been signed some 15 years ago. And now, because of this increased collaboration, we're beginning to see first projects emerging, and it's really pleasing to see. So there's at least two titles that are already in lineup of the Cannes Festival, so we must be doing something right. It's Santosh and Sister Midnight. And we hope to see many more of those films in the future. Last November, I took a delegation of producers from the UK to the amazing Goa Film Bazaar, where they sought collaboration partners, and I'm sure there will be some projects emerging from this. And we hope to come back and to invite Indian producers to London Film Festival to encourage further collaboration. We have so many stories that we can tell together in a new contemporary way, just like Santosh, which is tackling issues of police brutality, women's rights. They're bold stories that audiences find relevant, and we're very happy to be teaming up with India to tell those stories together.
Do you feel enabled in the kind of atmosphere and environment that is provided by the Government of India under the new incentive scheme, wherein 40% cashback is possible of the production cost? Because the incentive value really has gone up at least 12 times in the last 2 years. Do you feel that there's an enabling environment to enter into more and more co-productions with India?
It's an absolute game changer, because the very principle of co-production is mutual benefit. So both countries have to offer something, and then they use it together on one project, which is a collaboration. So that's really used to be a bit of a problem, because there wasn't really enough incentive in India to put on the table for those collaborations. But now with the new incentives, we're in business. It's really quite equitable that each country has something to offer. And I'm really pleased to say also that we recently, in the UK, improved conditions for co-production even further, because our incentives now have an increased rate for films that are official co-productions. And because we have a treaty with India, it will apply to co-productions with India.
So what does the future hold now? Are we looking at more co-productions for the upcoming Cannes Film Festival next year? Are we looking at more co-productions in various festivals around the world besides in India and the UK?
Absolutely, because another sort of additional advantage of co-production is that it tends to happen that when two countries already work together, you find audiences all around the world, because the stories will be sort of by nature international. And I think that's what we should be both aiming for, that the films that we do together will be received well around the world, not just in India or in the UK. And that should be our ambition.
Towards the end, what is the reassurance that you're going with home after meeting Joint Secretary, Government of India?
There's a great desire to make it work, because, to be frank, the treaties and co-productions work rather well when the conditions for production are very similar. So we do it in Europe, that it's very easy to co-produce with one another, because we know that system very well, the costs are similar, and we just pick the best way amongst 30 countries here, close by. Now, collaboration across continents, and where the conditions for production are quite different, has its challenges. So we need to work on that, and then even more projects will happen. But some education needs to happen about how how you produce films in India, how you produce films in the UK, because we want to do it together. And this is what we're working on, that when we send our producers to Film Bazaar, they learn a massive amount, because they will have met many people and had discussions about how to work together. So if we continue with this getting to know each other better, really good collaboration will happen, and I'm confident it will.
Do you have some favorite India-UK co-productions?
Oh my goodness, well, I've only seen one so far.
How did you like it?
I really liked it because it was organically shared story. Santosh. The whole film is set in India, but it is told by a British female director, and she's telling the story that is relevant to her and important to her, and we were very proud to be able to enable this.